everybody, this is Pyra, and I just wanted to go over one of the updates from the Final Fantasy XIV Lodestone regarding patch 7.01. So tomorrow is patch 7.01. Of course, we know one of the biggest things that is going to happen tomorrow is the release of Arcadian Normal. However, we did get this update about 9 days ago on the Lodestone in regards to upcoming job adjustments. So if you've already seen this, then this is nothing new. This information was posted, like I said, 9 days ago. However, I know some people haven't had a chance to look over it, myself included, for kind of an in-detailed look. So I figured let's look at that now and see what we're getting tomorrow and what we are getting 2 weeks from tomorrow. And so, little disclaimer before I get into the specific adjustments. I am not a technical player, and what I mean by that is I am an extremely intuitive player. I am less good at understanding specifics about potencies, jobs, etc. So if you're looking for a creator that is more in tune with that knowledge, then I would recommend looking a little bit deeper into YouTube, because some creators probably know a lot better about everything that I'm going to talk about in detail. However, I can at least provide you with the updates as I see them and a little bit of my thoughts and feedback. So the first job that we're going to talk about is Monk. There have been some incorrect potencies on certain actions, and nobody's really been certain on what the correct rotation even is. I know one of my best friends is a Monk main, and Monk is broken. Let's TLDR, Monk is broken. There has been an error with requirements for Stacks of Fury. I do not play Monk, so I really don't know anything about Monk or what that means. But from what I've heard, it is just having significant issues. AoE attacks are having their effectiveness improved, which will also bring along some minor changes to the HUD. Now, the next one that we see here is Astrologian. Astro, there have been some feedback given since the launch of Dawntrail that there is difficulty with burst phases. So the few things that are going to be addressed tomorrow will be light speed is getting an adjusted recast time, and it is also going to be turned into a charge action. Astro might be able to have some better mobility while still casting, and hopefully that'll help them with some of their difficulty as they're currently having it. Along with that as well, Draw is getting a shorter recast time, which means we will get more cards more often, and Macrocosmos is getting a potency buff, which is fantastic since that is one of the best abilities in its kit, and it's really just a DPS loss right now, so hopefully the changes will be adjusted and helpful for Astro mains. Now, Viper is the first one that we're kind of getting some changes tomorrow, but I think a lot of them are going to happen in a couple weeks in patch 7.05. A lot of people are saying that it is too busy, so there are some complaints that this new class is just a little too busy. I've heard a little bit of mixed feedback on that, but they have addressed that it feels too busy for a lot of people, and the first of some of the adjustments to the range of certain abilities, Viper is probably going to get some extended range abilities so it can attack from a bit further away, especially when you get into some fights where they just have to go out of a melee range. It should hopefully help them then. And then with the patch 7.05 coming out, with the release of Savage, there will be easing some directional requirements, which TLDR, less required positionals for a lot of the attacks, so please look forward to that. And now the next update is my baby, Black Mage, my favorite class. Lower levels, Black Mage doesn't have Umbral Soul, and there is becoming a big issue with getting MP back with the recent changes in Dawntrail. Mainly, you're going to see this in level 70 fights like Ukab and Uwu, and lower level dungeons, like if you're doing anything lower level content. I know I had a friend of mine reach out to me recently asking about tips, and it feels really hard for lower level content to get MP back if you run into a situation where you're, for instance, going after mobs, and you kind of go and finish your fire phase and you kind of lose everything, and it's janky. it is just janky. So they're going to try to fix this tomorrow with patch 7.01. And then, of course, with Savage coming up, patch 7.05, we will be getting some adjusted potencies, as it should probably be the top caster if you think of Black Mage being the most selfish casting DPS. A lot of people playing Pictomancer have had an easier time getting better numbers than Black Mage players, and that really shouldn't be the case because of Picto's utility, in my opinion, of course. So there will be adjusted potencies to Black Mage in the future patch 7.05. Now, the next update here is about tanks in general, no specific class, but I've definitely experienced this in dungeons. I know many tank mains probably have, where they're having issues holding aggro with big damage going out from DPS, as well as removal of some damage on their gap closers with Dawntrail's release. And so now they are looking to increase potencies added to the AoE attacks and movement abilities for tank come tomorrow. SamuraiRed Mage, we're not going to really see anything probably until patch 7.05, but we don't know. They honestly didn't give us a time frame on this, but they group these together as well. Samurai is getting a reduction in the recast time of Tendo Setsugeka and Tendo Keishi. And I apologize if I did not pronounce those correctly, but it is getting a reduction in their recast time, and red mages will have the effect duration of Manification extended. And again, we just don't know exactly when these are going to happen, but somewhere in the next 1 day to 2 weeks, that will be a change. And then the final note that we had here is for Pictomancer. So Pictomancer is getting a couple changes as well. I guess there is a bug where players found out that they could manually disable certain effects. So they urge players, just please don't do it. And they are going to fix it so that it plays more in line with how it was intended. Now, one thing that they didn't add here, but I'm thinking it might have been answered with the Black Mage changes, is Picto right now is a very heavy hitting DPS class. I wouldn't be surprised if they reduce the potency or they reduce some of the damage output of Picto. However, at this moment, I don't see that directly. Some people are speculating that the Picto changes that we see here might in fact kind of reduce some of the damage output. However, I'm not a numbers person. I'm not a technical player, so that is definitely beyond my brain cells. That is far beyond my brain cells. But we will just have to see what happens in the next day when we see some patch notes. As the patch goes live, we'll have to see exactly what happens tomorrow. And then, of course, leading up to the Savage mode of Arcadian, we will also see what else is to come. Now, that is everything that we should be expecting tomorrow for job changes and for plan changes to patch 7.05. Let me know in the comments below what you're most excited for, what you are maybe hoping we get tomorrow. I know myself, I am very excited to do Arcadian normal raids and to prep for the Savage raid tier as it comes out in a couple of weeks. And thank you so much for watching. If you're someone who loves Final Fantasy XIV news, updates, and more, consider hitting subscribe on the channel and a like. It means a lot. I am a Savage and Ultimate Raider, and I do everything in the game from casual content up through that. I live stream 5 days a week, and I provide you with news and updates as I get them. And thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in game. Bye!